Good morning everyone, welcome back to Lydia's Plate. This video is going to be sped up quite a bit because we have a lot to do. We are going to be making homemade Mennonite Kielke. So come along with me, let's get it all done. The family's all going to be involved and we're just going to try to get through this as fast as we can because the last time we did this it was an all-day project. Let's get going. These are what we call egg noodles. And it's as simple as what you just saw. 6 eggs, 1/4 cup water, 2 teaspoons of salt, and then enough flour to make a stiff dough. And I mean stiff, like so stiff that you can start off with your mixing machine if you like, but it needs to get so stiff that your machine could not even turn. I don't feel like pulling my machine out just to get it dirty for that little bit and then have to knead it by hand anyways, so I'm just gonna do it like this right from the start. Alright, so this is now where the dough is getting so stiff that I can't hardly work in any more flour by hand. So this is where we're going to start doing everything with our noodle machine. So now we want just very little pieces of dough.
Why?
Because it's amazing how much these tiny little pieces grow when they start going through that press all the time.
Does that make it harder?
It makes a smaller gap here. It pushes these rollers closer together.
That is really.
They are going to be like paper thin.
Paper's pretty thin.
Yep.
I'm surprised it hasn't worked yet. I can see through it.
Yeah, eh? Okay, let's go one more time.
Not too fast. Not too slow.
Okay. We are ready for our noodle cutter. Thank you. So now whenever we want to cut noodles, you have to switch your crank over, okay?
So which one? This one?
The wide one.
We're gonna cut noodles?
Yeah, we mostly like wide noodles, so we will make wide noodles. All right, Carissa, so this is where you catch noodles. Your hands are clean?
Yeah.
You're probably gonna need to pull up your sleeves.
Where should I put the kitchen?
On the island where we already started to make the mess. So now I will start making a pile
Of noodles?
of finished flat pieces. Okay, so we're gonna go at 3. All right, let's go.
More noodles?
No.
Okay. First, can we get a bunch of those ready?
Yes.
And then we'll do a whole bunch again?
Yes. Okay, give her. Balls for me? You're supposed to bring them over. I have a lot to keep busy with here, and you guys can go faster than what I can. Thank you. Okay, so I have all those balls to go.
Now, paper thin.
Yeah, now we're paper thin. Okay, ready? Is that too hard?
Nope.
Yeah, it's too hard. Look at how it's crinkling our dough. Yeah, we're asking too much of it.
It made it long. Well, kitchen noodles are supposed to be long. What should I do with all this extra?
You're gonna need it because you've got to dry these noodles. Those noodles have to be showered in tons of flour.
Okay.
Okay, once through on the number 9, and then we'll make a bunch of noodles. Oh, maybe we go twice through on the number 9. Oh, and it's squishing. Keep going. We can't stop. I sure am.
That is real.
Camera, flip her around her on its owner.
In the drawer.
Flip her around her on its owner.
If I know what you're saying.
It's a thing.
Okay, now let's make some noodles. We're getting quite a stack here.
Oh.
Chris is bored. She needs something to do.
Yes, finally, noodles. That's coming down. I'm trying to turn. Start up this time.
Are you gonna catch them? I want them curling.
I want curling. I can
No, on purpose in here, right?
Oh no, you don't have to go slower, Travis. That's not the pick there.
Time to come out of the case. You sit right in there.
Maybe I should get a bowl. A small one there. Under there.
Yeah.
Maybe a cereal bowl. No, that's glass.
And I would like, Krista, can I have a little Tupperware bowl of flour, please?
Okay. How small?
smaller?
There is no. That's the only.
Okay, any little container we have there, I just need a little, like, little. Smaller. Like a little snack cup container. Not that little.
Like this?
Yeah. And I want it with some flour. It doesn't have to be full. Yeah. Thank you. I don't remember at what time we started with this project, but we finished just after lunch, about 1 o'clock. That's when I sat down for my lunch because everything was done. And then we made these noodles for supper. So as I said earlier, it had been quite a few years since the last time that we had made these noodles. So there were a few things to remember, like they needed to go through the different sizes a few times each. So as you heard me telling Travis at one point, they needed to go through number 9 twice instead of once. And so my machine, I don't know if all machines are exactly the same or if they've ever changed them throughout the time of manufacturing, but mine has 9 settings for changing the rollers. So I've got from 1 till 9, and we went a couple of times, I think 3 times through number 3, and then we went 2 or 3 times through number 7, and then we went another 2 times through number 9. Then they were thin enough and had enough flour in them that they easily went through without ripping. They easily went through the noodle maker, and the noodles were easy to separate. And it is so nice to have yummy fresh noodles again. These are egg noodles, and from what someone has been describing to me recently, I'm going to be finding out shortly if this is even the same idea as the wrapper for spring rolls. So I'm super excited to be finding that out soon. But in the meantime, it was so nice to have fresh, yummy, homemade Kielke again. I was very pleasantly surprised to also find out what a difference it made with the kids being how many years older. I'd guess at least 5 years older since the last time that we did this, and so I was pleasantly surprised at how quickly we got through this all. I teased them a little bit after we were all finished, and I said, hey guys, like, look, it's barely after lunch and we're done. Maybe we should do another batch. And everybody said, no, we're tired, we're done. So then we're to clean up, and it felt really, really good to get everything cleaned up and then have a few minutes to sit down before I cleaned the whole house. This machine is very easy to clean. It's basically just shaking all the flour out of it, and then I put this flour all through the sieve and dumped it on the noodles. The noodles need a lot of flour to dry in, and we left them on the island for close to a week. I think for sure 5 days. But until they all felt totally dry and were stiff, until the noodles just wanted to break every time we touched them, then we knew they were dry. And even then, I packaged them with quite a bit of flour still in there. I did take some of it out, but I did leave quite a bit of flour in there too. The 1 year, I did not let them dry thoroughly enough, And when I went and opened my pail full of noodles, there was pink mold all over in there too. So that was very disheartening and frustrating. So this time we have made sure that they are very dry. And if you don't even want to take that risk, I have also stored them in the freezer before. That way there's no chance of that mold happening, but then that requires freezer space, and I just simply do not have that right now. So I rather chose to just leave them on the island longer, let them fully air dry, and then get them all cleaned up. So as I mentioned before, we also made these fresh for supper. So I'm frying some sausage, I'm going to cook some peas yet, and I am cooking some fresh Kielke. Now it's similar to spaghetti. You just cook them till they're limp. They only take 5 to 10 minutes. The thinner ones, if we had done the angel hair ones, they would take even less time, but we like the wider ones just because for pulling the noodles apart, it's less work. It's a lot easier to get all the wider noodles apart versus all the small ones. It's less picking and pulling apart. But anyways, yeah, so it's similar to spaghetti in that once they look limp and done, you can easily taste one, which is what I have done today. And then just strain them, and I always, even spaghetti, Kielke, it doesn't matter, I cook a little bit of cream. I am familiar with having a little bit of cream gravy on my noodles. It kind of does the same idea as if you're putting butter or a little bit of oil over your noodles. It just helps them all to not stick together, but the cream gives a really good flavor. I at least like that flavor. I love cream. There we go, supper is all on the table, and I'm going to quickly make my plate. I also love some extra schmontfat that is made in the pan after the sausage is done. I love a little bit of that over everything. And sometimes I like ketchup on there too, sometimes not. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Maybe you've learned something new, and I hope you're inspired to possibly make something homemade that you've always wanted to. Thanks again so much for watching, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you and look forward to seeing you again in the next video. Bye, everyone!